How do we make routine tasks more interesting? Well, as a solopreneur, and I've been one since 2009, I've had to do so many things over and over and over again in my business. Everything from creating content to, preparing clients to doing bookkeeping to doing administration and so many things. And one of my clients, asked me, well, with all those things, how do you keep it interesting or how do you keep from being so boring that you quit, right? Because, when you're in the job and someone's telling you what to do, you have this sort of like avoidance of punishment that keeps you going, or at least you're going to get a paycheck at the end of the 2 weeks or whatever. But with being a solopreneur, you have no guarantee of a paycheck when you're still building, at least towards the beginning. Or, along the way, you do things and not necessarily know whether there's a payoff or not. And that's true for me all the time. I launch courses, I launch programs, I put content like this out there, and I have no idea whether a piece of content is going to be really resonant with people or just be, boring for people. I mean, I have some clue. Obviously, I try to tilt my way towards what's resonant and relevant to my ideal clients, but still, you never know. So you have to just keep showing up and doing things over and over and over and over again. So back to the question, how do you make routine tasks and things you have to keep doing over and over again interesting enough, enjoyable enough to keep going and to keep going so that you learn and practice the same skill again and again so that you actually improve the results. Because it's also extremely tempting as a solopreneur to say, well, I tried making 3 videos and none of it worked, so I'm going to move on to something else. I'm going to move on to videos don't work for me. And I'm going to move on to creating another type of content or whatever. And usually that's not true. Usually you're not very good at the beginning of any particular skill, whether it's writing, video making, creating offers, reaching out for clients, preparing your clients, doing client, whatever it is, you have to keep doing it over and over and over again, learning from the practice that you do so that you can keep getting better. But every time you have to keep doing it. And there are certain things that are required. I mean, things like bookkeeping, right? Unless you hire it out, doesn't matter how much you try to hire out, there are always going to be things that you have to keep doing again and again. You have to keep doing it rather than being able to automate or outsource it yet. So let's get to it. How do we make things interesting when they have to be done again and again? Before I share with you my responses, I always am curious about what kind of answers you have already within yourself. So if you would like to do this quick exercise, pause this video and comment below. What already comes to you in terms of what do you all already do? Look at the tasks that you have to do again and again. Some some clients have told me, well, I just kind of bite the bullet, so-called, and just try to get through it as fast as I can. And while I understand that that is normal, and you say, well, this is boring, but I have to do it. I'm gonna just do it efficiently, as fast as I can. And that's fine, but I will tell you when I share my responses later why I think it's a missed opportunity. So before I share my responses, feel free to pause the video, comment below. What do you think? What do you think thus far? Engage your own brain, engage your own study of your own grounded experiences, and share with me and others below. Do you have any ideas? Do you do something that makes routine or repeated tasks interesting enough for you, meaningful rather than just boring and tedious? Well, what do you think? Let me know below. All right, ready? I'll just share with you my thoughts now and let me know if any of these are helpful. So let me first share a kind of mainstream, uh, common piece of advice that it's good. It's not bad. I have something unusual to share later, but let me share the common advice, which is change your environment and change your environment each time if you want to. So, for example, let's take, I don't know, let's take bookkeeping. Okay, let's say you find bookkeeping to be boring, doing your numbers for the week or for the month or whatever. Where do you usually do it? If you usually do it in your office, home office, then go and try doing it in the kitchen. I mean, the dining room or wherever you eat, or try and do it outside of your home if you can. I mean, literally in your if you have a backyard or a front yard or a porch or something, try doing it there. Changing your environment immediately changes the feel, the vibe of the task because you're no longer in the same brain groove that you usually are. And so there's just different stimulations combined with the task that you usually do will already make it more of a variety. Okay, so that's physical environment. You can change your audio environment. Yeah. So play a different song. Play some different music each time you do bookkeeping. You could change your aromatic environment by, I don't know, if you use like essential oil diffusers to bring some smell to your home office or, a scented candle or something like that. So change your environment that way, right? Um, change your social environment. Maybe you can do it with somebody else so that's more fun. So changing your environment, proven way to make a routine task more interesting. And that's fine. That's kind of like, activating our dopamine or whatever to make things, make things stimulating physically. Okay. Now, for some more unusual ideas, how about make things more meaningful internally? That's how I always like to try to figure out how can I make every task that I do meaningful and interesting and even enjoyable in and of itself. Two ways to do this. First way, I look at each task, if I can, as an extension of my spiritual practice. I know that might sound a little strange or woo-woo, but stay with me here. And well, let me ask you first, what is your spiritual practice if you have one? Or how do you believe you can become a better person? Is it through improving certain virtues of yours, right? Is it improving a certain way of being that you approach life? Well, why can't you bring that virtue or that way of being into whatever boring task is in front of you? Because here's the reality. The more boring, so-called, the more boring a task is, the more you're probably used to doing it, and the less mental focus you need, right? Like for example, if you were opposite, if you were playing a video game, you're so engrossed because you don't want your character to die, and you just have to jump to here and shoot this thing. Like it's totally engrossing. The video game has been designed to be visually stimulating, auditorily stimulating, and there's no bandwidth, there's no mental and you might say emotional, spiritual bandwidth to do anything else except just be fully engrossed. But let's say you're doing bookkeeping or you're doing some administrative task or you are writing. Maybe writing is boring I don't know what's boring for you, but here's the thing. That means you have more mental, emotional, spiritual space to reflect and to bring a different energy to like consciously change your vibe or your presence so that you're doing your bookkeeping, for example, with gratitude, for example, with curiosity, with a conscious practice of diligence. That's what I try to do, whatever task I'm doing. If I've done it again and again and again, I try to say, for me, this is what's meaningful for me. What virtue might I try to practice embodying in this task, in this moment, in the next half hour, in the next 15 minutes, in the next hour, however long this task is? How, what would it feel like to try to embody courage? So well, here's an example. I have made well over 2,000. I mean, I've uploaded 2,000 videos just to my YouTube channel. So many more I haven't uploaded to YouTube. It's on my course platform. I've uploaded, thousands, over 1,000 to my own course platform and 2,000 to YouTube. So making videos is now quite routine for me. It's not, yeah, it's nothing that like makes me have to take all of my energy to speak on camera. It's very normal for me. So making this video, for example, right? I'm not saying I'm bored right now, but what I am saying is it's not super challenging for me. So what do I do then? I say, how do I bring more courage to this moment of making this video? How can I try to tell the truth? How can I bring more playfulness to making this video? How can I try to uplift the audience? Like consciously try to bring that energy, that spirit to try to, channel that through to the video rather than just speaking the message. I can easily, almost in my sleep, just speak a message because I've done it thousands of times. But how do I now bring fill in the blank virtue to this moment, to this presence, so that that activates and exercises that muscle within my spirit, and then also it might bring some better energy and enjoyment to my audience as well. So this is one example, right? Another example, when I am creating offers, I've created hundreds of offers at this. An offer is basically a course I'm selling or a program, a coaching program I'm selling or something like that. I've done hundreds of these. And so I can do that without so much challenge, but every time I do it, I try to bring some virtue. So, for example, the next offer I'm making, I'm trying to bring more caring into that offer creation. How can I like genuinely, intentionally care for the person who might buy this thing when I'm writing this offer? How can I bring more of my heart and my love to that? Another offer might be, um, how do I bring more courage? Because I might be afraid, I might be slightly anxious that the offer won't sell and maybe no one will buy, but I'm going to bring my courage anyway. I'm going to practice courage there. And so, in other words, I think every moment and every task is an opportunity for spiritual growth. I really do. And because that's true in my mind, then every single day is meaningful. Every hour, no hour is boring. Every hour contains the seed, potentially a very big and important seed of spiritual growth. And then I think, what a beautiful life and a wonderful life this is. Never a boring moment, never a dull moment. The second unique way of doing it, and this is also kind of spiritual, but basically, how can you bring more playfulness to your so-called boring task? Again, the fact that it is routine and repetitive means that you've done it before probably, or you don't have to put a lot of mental energy to it, and there's more availability for you to then consciously say, what does it mean to play with this thing? How do I make this into a game or make this more fun? And so to use a bookkeeping example again, right? And I'm going to be kind of silly here. Bear with me, play with me here to be kind of silly. So let's say I'm doing bookkeeping and I have to like look at a number and go, what was this number related to, and categorize it. So I might go, hmm, what's this number related to? I mean, I literally might do something silly like that. What's this number related to? Just kind of bring some levity and fun to them. What's this number related to? Aha, this was that software subscription. Got it. Da, 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 da. And so it's like, no moment has to be ever dull. You either practice some kind of spiritual growth or you practice playful, creativity in it. And either one, both are great. If you're practicing creativity, you are enhancing your ability to bring play into any moment. And my goodness, adults certainly need this. We get so used to doing the things that we do that we forget to make it playful, make it enjoyable, make it meaningful. And so that was a silly example, but can you think of another way you can bring play to something that you do on a regular basis? If you, please, I actually would be curious if you want to share any other examples below. Pause this video, add a quick comment, and what's another example where you can bring play and how might you bring playfulness and creativity to it? So anyway, I think this video has gone long enough, and I think you got the message, hopefully. I hope that this has made a positive difference for you, and I really hope that you'll do something with this. Now, don't just let this be another video that you watch, but maybe to try this. Take a moment and think about what is the next task that's on your agenda, on your to-do list today, that's more routine. That's one of the routine tasks. It doesn't have to be a business or work task. It could be a personal task. It could be washing the dishes, right? It could be some chore. And then comment below if you like, what is that task and how will you do it in a more meaningful way? Because no day has to be routine. Every day presents numerous opportunities to grow, to grow as a more fully realized human being. I hope this is interesting, and thank you so much for watching.